Hi, let's discuss one of the problem relating to array, which is finding missing elements in an array. In part 1 video, I had a discussion related to the array elements which are uniformly distributed and in the range. But in this video, I will be going to discuss the array which are randoms. The elements in that array are random. That's why. So first, go to the logic. The array elements are 3, 7, 4, 9, as you see on the screen, and indexes respectively from 0 to 9 because there are 10 elements. And here we consider index array. In first video, I'll do it in by using one array, because in that video I just compare that index and the element itself, and I had find out the difference between index and element, and according to that difference I just use iterative way to find out how many elements are not satisfying that difference, and I had just print them. But in this video, if elements are not in uniformly distributed fashion, means they are not in fixed range. Here also we take a range, but in not a uniformly distributed manner. We take elements as a random. For example, after 3 there is a 7, after 7 there is a 4. Means after 3 there is a not a 4 but 7. Means they are random. So in that case, how we will deal with this problem? So to solve this problem, which is not solvable by only taking one array, because here index and difference is not same. So we have to think differently how we could solve this problem. So in this case, we have to take another array, which is index array. We have to initialize by 0 to that array, as you see on the screen. And we have to just increment that 0 by 1 when we found that element into that particular array. For example, here 3. So if 3 is present, so in 3 I just take 3 indices and I increment this 0 to 1, and at last when I increment all the array elements in that particular index array, then I just use a for loop to find out that how many elements that array which are presently are in 0, and that's how we can find that the 0 elements are the missing element. That's it. So simple logic. We have to just go through the array. We have to increment each and every index by index consider as array, and then we have to increment that 0 by 1 when the element is found. And if element is missing, automatically that index array element remains 0. And while iteratively go through the index array, then we can find out that if array of index array of I is equal to 0, we have to just print that index, and that print index is itself a number, because in first array whatever the number, in the second array it is our index. So that's it, simple logic. So just code it. So we have to take first array. In that array elements are 3, 7, 4, 9, 12, 6, 1, 11, 2, 10. These are 10 elements, and we have to take range also, which is 1, high is 12, and number of elements are 10. So these are some of the parameters which we require for this particular array. Then we have to take again different array of index, which takes 13 elements, and we have to assign all the digits into zeros. That's it. So we have to go through the for loop, because we have to go through each and every element and then increment that particular 0 to 1. So we can find out the number which is missing. So in that case, index of array of I, we have to just increment that indices. Whenever we found the element present, we have to just increment. If that element is not present, we have to keep it as a 0. And after founding or increment that 0 to 1, we have to go through the another loop, is I less than I plus plus, and we have to check that if 0 is present or not. So if index array of I equal to 0, you have to simply print that index, because that index itself is a number in my first array. So that's it. This is simply code in first array. In first for loop, we increment our index element, which is considered an array, and then in second for loop, we compare that if there are some remaining 0 present in that array. If possible, then we just print that index, because that index is element itself. So just check out how many elements are missing. Okay, so it is showing error. So 5 and 8 are two missing elements. As you see, 3, 4, 5 is missing, 1, 2 is present, and it is missing. So that's it. So this is very simple code. Just we have to think a little bit about how to take array, when to take index, when to take element as index, and when to use such things. So thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like my efforts. Stay blessed. Thank you.